Well, hand me the Nobel Peace Prize, because in today's video, I solved the conflict of the ages. That's right, we're going to be unraveling the enigma, unriddling the riddle that is how to make COD great again. These are the 5 ways we can make COD great again. And I know we have no stake in this at all. All I want is this game to be back on its footing and hopefully have another shot at it. I like Call of Duty, even though a lot of people seem to not like it. I find it an enjoyable franchise to play. Even the newest iteration of it, I do enjoy playing from time to time. I just don't make videos on it because doesn't seem to be an audience for it. But how to make COD great again and get people caring is what today's video is going to be about. Okay, hater, the thesis has been stated as my laundry gets baited inside the machine that I hated when I had to go and get skated by a rip-free named Potated? Fuck. The first step to making COD great again involves... First of all, what I would like to see is, obviously, this is going to be a no-brainer, boots on the ground, not a big deal. Like, we could skip this point because it seems like it's a non-necessary item that's already been implemented into the World War II-ness that we're going to be getting. So I don't even know why I fucking said that, given that it's going to take place in World War II. But what I would like to see maybe is, for sure, let's talk about the specialist system. This is going to be off the cuff. There's no super structure to this. Think of it like a podcast. Okay. Do I see the specialist system coming back into Call of Duty? I don't know. See, the thing is it works in some games, like it worked in Black Ops 3 real well, and the specialists in that seemed very appropriate. They had their different characteristics, each one performed a different task diligently, and they had their own special powers. Now, how would this apply to World War II? Well, you could have different types of infantry, I guess, like someone... this guy, when he gets his super alt, he gets his flamethrower, or whatever, he gets the machine gun, the LMG, the tank. Just, I don't know if specialists have a place in World War II. That's what I'm trying to say, homie. But the thing is that the genre of sort of FPS games at this point has almost entirely shifted to pre-made specialists being the main feature. We look at games like Overwatch, where they are the specialists, and even Call of Duty followed the same. Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, and Overwatch basically are cousins. If you didn't know that, they're related, and they were fucking... Whoa, okay. It's a little early in the morning to be talking about that, but they do share some characteristics in that the specialists all have their different variety of powers, as I said before. They all interact with each other in the pregame. That's also something that's endemic of both games, and I think is sort of what needs to be upheld in the future, maybe, because, as I said before, all the games are sort of switching over to this way. Battlefield 1 and Battlefront, well, I don't fucking play Battlefront, do I? Battlefield 1 has a similar sort of approach, hater, where, oh, that's a good Rick voice, where they have the different loadouts, and are loadouts appropriate even? Because Call of Duty was all about customization, and it still is. You're making your own shit up to go with this specialist, and you can play it so stupid. Like, say your specialist was an assassin, and you're like, I'm gonna take the loudest weapons and the slowest boots. In which case, you might as well take some Media's Ultra Boost Uncaged Edition. They're so comfortable. But do I see that in World War II? I could see it playing out. Do I want to play out? Honestly, dog, unless you're going to do the specialist as good as Black Ops 3 or Overwatch did, then maybe you should reconsider. Maybe you shouldn't do it, Doug. Ooh. Because the specialist that happened in Infinite Warfare was a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? They're all fucking the same. They're all the same fucking thing. I can't distinguish what this is and the other one. They all look the same is what I'm saying. They don't talk to each other, so that whole aspect of it, the thing that keeps me in the universe, the diegetic sounds, the narrative, the little extra piece of production value that really ties this whole shit together isn't there. It isn't fucking there. So why, if you're gonna just screw it up, why even do it in the first place? You know what I'm saying? But since we have like fucking 3 generations now that are all on this specialist hype train, I don't know. Are we gonna see it in World War II? All I'm saying is if we're gonna see it, do it diligence. That's all you have to do. If you're gonna do something, do it right. Next fucking thing on our list, we're going to be talking about kill streaks here. First of all, there's going to be 2 separate points. So what I want are kill streaks to be back and as effective as shit. Not like they don't do anything. I want your kill streaks to be useful. They need to be, oh my god, he called in the B-52. We are all fucked. That's what I want to see in my game. That's what I want to see in the next game. That's what we need. And did Sledgehammer deliver on that in AW? Kinda, not really. Some of the kill streaks you were just better off not even getting. And some of them were pretty great. I like the customization aspect. That was pretty cool. But I could see that coming back, honestly. Oh, you want to firebomb this place, you have to get this to do that. Oh, well, I needed to unlock the firebombs for 7,000 more points. That would be cool to see in the game. Wouldn't it, Master Wayne? That's sort of in the avenue that I want to see. I want to see my kill streaks do shit. I don't want it to be like Infinite Warfare. Oh! Where are the kill streaks? I don't even know. Do they, like, no. The time to kill in that game is so fast. The game is not the greatest. But the kill streaks, like, they don't do anything. They do nothing. They aren't rewarded. Like, you don't feel like you're getting rewarded. Like, oh, I got this chopper thing, even though they didn't exist in World War II. So maybe a tank, and it's just wrecking everyone. Like, that shit should be happening. Not, I got the RC car. It's gonna freeze 2 of you. Just wait, and then you get your specialist, which is kind of guaranteed, and that takes over for the kill streak aspect. You need kill streaks are a main, I guess, foundation of Call of Duty in the modern era, in what we're considering, and so they need to be as effective as they can. What they are is they're the candy, they're the reward for playing the game. Your kill streaks are your reward for playing good. That's what entices players to keep playing. When you have shitty kill streaks, they don't play as good. And that just seems pretty solid. The next part, in part 5B of this, I'm going to talk about the nuke, okay? The prospect that the nuke might be coming back. Yeah, you can clickbait this all you want. The nuke, honestly, best kill streak ever invented. Straight up, genius idea. End the game, you have to get like a stupid amount of kills. You automatically win the game by deploying it, which you should get. How the hell are you gonna live through that, dummy? I don't even know. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, regarding any nuke, game-ending kill streak, and there were nukes in World War II. That's what ended, in part, World War II from continuing. Japan was nuked twice by the United States of America. So it could be an entity that gets played in this game. It could come back. It theoretically could get deployed. But what I want to see is if it is a thing in this game, if it's something that we're going to fuck around with, I want it to be secret. Because what we had last time was a clusterfuck in the recent game. And what I mean is, you had all these YouTubers get flown out to Infinity Ward Studios, wherever the hell that is, and what they did was they found out immediately that the nuke's going to be in the game to build hype, right? Well, that's something that should be totally not available when you walk into the studios. That shit should be kept under lock and key until day one of the game. People need to find that out day one, maybe 3 days in. It's a little surprise. It needs to be one of those launch secrets that comes out with the game. It's like an Easter egg. Why would you just give them the fucking Easter egg when they're at the studios? That's just stupid. In my mind, I think it's the dumbest thing ever. And they found out by the time the demo came out that that was in the game. Like, it's confirmed. And what it did was just took all the air out of that balloon and let it shrivel up into like become a flaccid plastic fucking balloon covered in someone's spit. It's disgusting is what it is. Whereas and Sledgehammer's previous game, Advanced Warfare, it was found out like maybe a week ahead of time that there's a nuke in the game, because that shit was people could buy it in other countries early and play it, and it's there. Guys, you have day one patches on your game. That should be the day one patch right there. You make it so it's not in the game for people who play it early. Simple solution to a simple problem, so that it just isn't there. It just doesn't happen when people get it early. And then patch it in on actual release day. So your actual release day, you get it so that there's a nuke in the game if people find out or ever get to that point of discovering it. My next problem is going to be supply drops. And I know a lot of people talk about this, and I didn't okay, so I'll be straight up. I do like supply drops as a thing. I know a lot of people don't, but with my supply drop experiences, it was mostly in sorry, I felt sick for saying it. Advanced Warfare. I did enjoy that game a lot. Like, I kept playing it basically until the end of it, the end of its cycle. I didn't like I'd be playing like hardcore games, S&D, and not even uploading the footage because I didn't know there was an audience for that at the time. But my supply drop videos, they were doing great. I love the system that they had for that, for supply drops. It was a loot box sort of system where you're not getting points towards it or some shit. Like, there's an arbitrary currency you have to turn your money into to get the supply drops. You were just buying the cases as is. And I get it. Activision needs to make money. And now, see, the problem is, the catch-22 is they need to make money more so now than ever. So what we're going to see is supply drops. And they're coming back. There's no going around this. They're coming back in the next game. I can guarantee it. But how they might be implemented might be more frontage to the people, because they have to make up more money for the loss of the shitty game that just came out. I hate talking in that super high-pitched voice, but what I'm trying to say is they need to be rethought of a little bit. So how I'm going about this is Black Ops 3 really shit the bed with supply drops. That's my only like gripe about that game, is that the supply drops were really badly done. I found, at least. Some people were making a decent like content sort of style off of them. I found it pretty hard to do. And that's because I don't stream, really. If you stream it, it's a lot easier. But what really fucked things up is when Infinite Warfare came out, and I know I keep shitting on this game, and it deserves to be said, this is a game that deserves about as much hate as it gets. Well, okay, maybe it doesn't. That was a little too harsh. I like playing it, and I think there are enjoyable aspects of it, but I think that fact that it got so much wrong enables me to hate on it as much as I do, and others. I do think that some elements of that, and maybe this is digression here, could come back again. And I think that the developer team, especially for the zombie side, have really been doing great work. They deserve a pat on the back. The community people are doing a good job too. It's really, I think, the multiplayer side that really just sort of dropped the ball, and that's a very large part of the community, and unfortunately that forms a framework around most of the other work that comes out of it, that because it's a huge part, and you're making a game system that has to be somewhat influenced from single player and has an effect on multiplayer. I think that that's where the disconnect was, and that's where the hate on comes from. And then they screwed other things up, like not having all the features in. We're going to talk about that later. But their supply drop system is awful. It's totally just fucking garbage. By having so many decals and shit in there, that stuff should be... If you're going to put decals in there, give me 5 items as well. Give me 5 items. Give me a currency or something. If you're going to use a third-party currency to buy this fucking shit in the first place, like the keys method or salvage, give me that additionally in your supply drops. You're giving me 3 items? Okay. The Overwatch community seemingly has no issue with the loot boxes, right? You get 1 each level, or you can buy the loot boxes straight up for cash. But you can't buy the shit in game for cash. So you have to go through the loot boxes or accrue points to get some of the cool shit in the game. The loot boxes give you like 4 or 5 different things. And there are useless things like the sprays. Maybe that's what the decal should be. Just steal it from Overwatch, put it as spray paint. Oh, War Bond or whatever. I don't fucking know. Figure it out! This isn't my problem to fix. Even though I said we're going to try to do this in this video. But I'm saying there are solutions out there to getting around this shitty supply drop problem. I'm saying drop what Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare did for their supply drop thing. Figure it out on your own. You guys are super smart. You guys are super talented at Sledgehammer. From Advanced Warfare's perspective, supply drops, that was golden, and I think tweaking that might be the key. And if you have to put in crypto keys as a thing, or in salvage or whatever, design that better than it was implemented thus far in previous titles. The next thing, and this is probably like totally left field here. Okay, this is going to be the social aspect of the game. What happens is, and we've seen this with previous iterations of Call of Duty, I can even show you the fucking decline if I need to. I don't have to. You can't make me. But what we see is there's a definite peak of saleability of the games. And they definitely go from Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3. That's the height of Call of Duty. People are like, oh, COD 4. No. This shit fucking blew up Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1. Those games were great. They started the blow up. But when it really hit its height, it was at that. Those things were selling ridiculous amounts of copies. And one thing that they had in was the social aspect, which I like to call anything that revolves around social media and sharing and interacting with others. And what that can be is, one, Emblem Editor. Emblem Editor is a huge community secretly on in the COD community. And what emblem editor does is it allows people to make emblems and edit them. I can't explain it easier than that. Actually, I can't. So it gives you like shapes and shit, and you can make your own artwork in it. So it's pretty cool, and people like doing that. People enjoy seeing what cool shit people make, and some people like seeing the hentai that gets made in it. But jokes aside, that's a key part of the game now. That's part of the $60 that you're buying Call of Duty for it at this point, because this community has already been established. And when they get left out of the loop is when you start to screw things over. I know it's not a big thing, but it's a social thing, and it creates what it does additionally for YouTubers. Not myself. I don't do these videos, but it allows them to create more content, which pushes out your game, which advertises the game as well. It builds another community layer onto the Call of Duty experience, making the whole thing more enriched. Another one is theater mode. And I always harken back to how Black Ops 3 did theater mode, or Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1. Those games are really nailing it out of the park, and as far as the audience is concerned, are really the top tier games of where Call of Duty's at. They also consider COD 4 that, because it's the base foundation for all of this. But we know from saleability that Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3 were the top selling games. These games, coincidentally, also have the theater mode aspect, which allows people to share their shit that happens in the game. As a YouTuber, what it is for me, it's a backup vault online. All the games I fucking played, I don't have to record 8 hours and then constantly be cycling that over to hard drives. I do, but I have to do it on a much smaller scale because the games are all saved on that vault. That vault can screw up. That's cool. It happens. My Elgato is the main thing. This thing's the backup. Additionally, people making sort of artwork inspired, say montages and whatnot, videos I make too, frequently use theater mode as an aspect of it. If I can get a game that's HUDless, oh yeah. Well, aside from playing hardcore, but in, say, zombies, I can get that and then use that as the plate footage to do whatever the fuck I want with my editing and put that in there. If I want to do a montage, it gives me clean footage that I can use without the HUD, so I can make cool 3D stuff if I have to, if I was making montages. And that's why I think you see those communities not coming back, because once they had the tool, they were dependent on it, and now without it, it's just not as fun. And it sort of caused that market to die down. My theory on the social aspect, be it emblem editor, live streaming from the console, or theater mode, is when you give your users the tools to create content, you take them from being just a gameplay user, a person playing your game, and turn them into essentially brand ambassadors, where they want to make content about your game. They want to share their experiences in your game. This amazing thing happened. I didn't have theater mode. I wasn't streaming it. I wasn't recording. Oh no, it's lost in time. With theater mode there, I can show this anomaly or whatever. Oh my god, this is so cool. People see it. Wow, I gotta get this game. It raises the bar on a social level that I think Call of Duty really needed to keep. And I think with its disinclusion, at least in my part, it drives a lot of people away who want to make content for it. That and the dwindling audience. Now, are these strategies foolproof? No, this isn't a whole theory on how we fix the main problem, that is people not wanting to play COD. These are just suggestions, tactics, if you will, in the war on where I think the strategy can go, where I think the game can go in the future. Not in the future, but I mean in our future. I mean in real life, not jetpacks. Although maybe a water jetpack would be pretty cool. That would be sick. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make this video and talk to you guys about it. I figure you guys want to hear some thoughts on it or have some suggestions at least. And I think that's a problem, or at least an issue that's affecting all of us, because I know you guys like watching at least somewhat Call of Duty content or experience with that game. And you guys probably have your own ideas on where they should take it, what sort of like next step they can do, or sort of pitfalls they can avoid in the future. And I want to hear about that. I'm going to read the comments below in this video like I do every time. But the problem is Jimmy can't read. And it took 32,000 videos for him to realize as Chapter 7 ended and he went off to the bathroom.